Bithumb is halting HBAR deposits and withdrawals for a Hedera upgrade, but the token will still trade inside the exchange. The pressure point is simple. Bithumb paused HBAR transfers for an upgrade while keeping spot trading open. Bithumb Halts HBAR is the search phrase, but the story becomes clearer once the mechanism underneath the headline is visible. The tension here is simple. The loudest claim is not always the part with the strongest proof. Bithumb said HBAR transfers would pause from 10:00 a.m. UTC on April 28 because Hedera was preparing a mainnet network upgrade, a standard move exchanges use to avoid transactions getting stuck during protocol changes. This is routine risk control, but it still matters because transfer rails and trading screens can tell very different stories during maintenance windows. That gives the story a hard anchor before sentiment starts doing the storytelling. The exchange made clear that only deposits and withdrawals are affected. Spot trading for HBAR pairs stays live, which means price can still move even while users cannot send coins in or out. In plain language, exchanges pause transfers during upgrades so users do not send coins into a network state the platform has not fully validated yet. This is where structure matters more than surface excitement. For people typing Bithumb Halts HBAR, the next useful step is to separate what is already operating from what is only being promised. Services resume only after the Hedera upgrade completes and Bithumb finishes internal checks, so the timeline depends on both the chain and the exchange's own post-upgrade validation. That detail is often where the risk moves from theory into actual exposure. The key mechanism is transaction finality. When a chain changes core software, exchanges pause external transfers so they do not credit deposits or process withdrawals on a network that could briefly behave differently. For anyone tracking KW, the practical issue is timing. If you need self-custody or another venue, the pause matters more than the chart. Once that mechanism is visible, the pricing story gets easier to read. For holders, that means planning matters. Anyone who needs HBAR in a private wallet, a staking setup, or another app has a deadline before the pause. Traders, meanwhile, need to remember that exchange prices can keep moving even when transfer rails are closed. A transfer halt does not mean a chain is broken, but it does change who can move inventory and when. This is why users, traders, and treasury desks can react very differently to the same headline. What is still unknown is how long the pause will last and whether other exchanges will mirror the same timing. That matters because temporary transfer limits can change where liquidity sits and how easily arbitrage keeps prices aligned. The next signal is the restart notice. If withdrawals reopen smoothly, the event will look like routine maintenance. If the pause runs longer than expected, traders will start asking whether the upgrade created a more meaningful coordination issue. The uncertainty is part of the valuation, not a side note after it. That leaves Bithumb Halts HBAR dependent on follow-through instead of headline energy. Once the rails reopen, most people will forget this pause. The smarter read is to remember how much market access depends on maintenance nobody celebrates. Once the noise is stripped away, follow-through is the only thing that can confirm the pitch.